Pick your mans up.
Yeah, just because people used to come through shooting us every day. Yeah, this block, words can't even explain, man. Can't even explain.
Yeah, man. Little school Valley 05 way on money.
Young Money, man. They in the building.
600 boy, LA, man. LA Capone, man. Get it to him, man. OC2 boys, man. Team
Rondo number 9, man. Number 9 shooter, you hear me?
Hey, bitch, little bitch. Yeah. Fuck is wrong with you, hey, I am Brick Squad. Brick Squad, boy. Fuck is you talking about, boy?
You have to be willing to die or go to jail for 100 years if that's the lane that you're stepping in. You have to understand that whether you 15, 16, you got to think like a man. You know what I'm saying?
So don't be in it. Oh, you're not? Why does everybody say you're only 16 years old?
They say what they want to say.
How old are you?
300.
The story of Lil Fatz. This is the story of Lil Fatz from 800, one of the craziest members I've ever followed in Chicago. He is allegedly responsible for multiple homicides and is currently locked up in Cook County, waiting to be sentenced to life in prison. Fatz was also a rapper with millions of views. We will go through his rap career, his alleged bodies, the case he is currently fighting, the history of 800 and much more. I hope you will enjoy this one. Lil Fatz, whose real name is DeAndre Jennings, was born on February 23, 2000, and grew up on the south side of Chicago. To be completely honest, it's difficult to dig up much on his early family life. From what we can gather, he was likely raised by his mother, who worked long hours, either in healthcare or at the airport, which left him with a lot of unsupervised time on his hands. As a kid, Fatz was known for being mischievous and rowdy, though he actually managed to keep pretty good grades before eventually dropping out of high school. Without anyone at home to keep him on the right path, he hit the streets early. By his early teens, he was already getting arrested and diving headfirst into a life of crime, starting with things like stealing bikes, boosting cars, and robbing people. More importantly, Fatz started playing with guns at a very young age. By the time he was only 13 or 14 years old, he was already shooting at people. This early start in the streets allowed him to link up with heavy hitters from both 800 and 051 Young Money, including names like Pyro, Drilla, Montana, and Boss Smooth. He wasn't just a kid on the sidelines, he was learning the ropes from some of the most active members in the city right from the jump.
Niggas look like they finna cry here, nigga. Niggas look like they finna cry. He finna cry. Niggas look like they finna cry here, nigga. But God again. Yes. Then they block the yes is not around. Nigga. Nigga saying nah. Nigga. He a stats game, nigga. 300, nigga. Fuck up. Fuck gutter gang. Fuck gutter. That's the fuck right hand. Fuck y'all did, homie. That fuck trigger. Don't bend dog yourself. I wish a nigga would try to act crazy. Oh, here niggas bitches. 800 fast gang. Niggas know. Fuck right hand. Yeah. Nigga. Fuck right hand. Fuck gutter. Niggas know. Niggas know and bitches know, man. We is 8,000 fast gang. Fuck gutter. You know. I ain't even gotta keep saying that shit. Niggas ain't on shit.
Before getting deeper into Fatz's personal story, it helps to understand where he comes from. So first, here's some background on 800 and the environment that played a role in shaping him, along with the conflicts tied to his name. 800 is a set of Mickey Cobras based around 61st and Cottage Grove. That area sits right next to rival neighborhoods like Marcus Way and Mack Creek. The group has been active since the early 2000s, but they didn't always go by 800. Older members knew it as Holly Grove, which was basically the earlier version of what 800 is today. We'll touch more on that later. These days, 800 is also known by a few different names, including Pyro Way, Frank Block, Diddy Grove, and 6100. Their main spot is still 61st and Cottage Grove, but their reach stretches from about 61st to 63rd, between Cottage Grove and Drexel. The name 800 started being used sometime between 2005 and 2007, taken from 800 East 61st Street on Cottage Grove. Over time, they've built a reputation across Chicago for having a long list of rivals. They've also been known to fall out with their own allies, which is why people often refer to them as a backdoor gang. Because of that, their alliances and beefs have shifted a lot over the years. In order for you to understand the history of 800, we have to start with the older generation called Holly Grove, or 800E Holly Grove, who was housed in the same territory as today's 800. Some members who belonged to the older generation were high-profile names such as Diddy, Boss Smooth, Snacks and Young Snake. An interesting detail is that Young Snake, who used to rap, later became the manager of Boss Smooth. You rarely hear 800 referred to as Holly Grove anymore, except maybe by the old heads who were around back in the day. It's a lot like the transition from Brick City to 600. During that shift, you had some guys who still claimed the old name, while the younger generation moved on and only repped 600. In that same way, Holly Grove doesn't really exist today. The new generation has completely rebranded, and the identity of the set has shifted so much that the old name has basically faded out. Just like Brick City is a thing of the past, Holly Grove has been almost entirely replaced by the 800 brand. When it comes to 800 and who they're cool with, It's honestly easier to list who they're not linked up with. Their relationships have shifted a lot over time, but right now they're mainly aligned with other snake sets, along with Rawtown/Dog Life, Frank Block/820, and OTV/DOA. Those are their closest allies at the moment. The main reason 800 stays locked in with such a small circle of allies is, of course, because they are snakes. Generally speaking, almost every group they clique up with shares that same Mickey Cobra lineage. But it's not just about sharing the same lit, these alliances are built on real-world personal connections. It's a us against the world mentality. Because 800 has burnt so many bridges and started so much static with different sets across the city, they've basically been backed into a corner. It's really a case of all the other gangs being against them, which forces the different snake sets to stick together just to survive the pressure from every other direction. .800 isn't a large group, but a lot of their members have built strong reputations. Some are known for what they've done in the streets, while others made a name through music. The set is said to have around 30 to 40 members, with roughly half of them currently locked up. A lot of these names might already sound familiar, but not everyone knows all of them. When people talk about the most well-known figures tied to street activity, names like Lil Fatz, Lil Twin, Lil Twan, DJ, and Pyro usually come up, especially if you've been following the Chicago scene for a while. On the music side, Boss Smooth stands out as their most recognized rapper. Others like Lil Fatz and Lil Twin have also released songs, but they're generally better known for their reputations outside of music, which I mentioned earlier. Now we get to the first killing involving an 800 member in this story, which is the death of Diddy. He was connected to 800, Holly Grove, No Law, and Chief Town. This happened 12 years ago, on February 24, 2011. Diddy, whose real name was Roselle Phillips, was shot that night around 9:10 p.m. It was a cold evening in late February. Police said he was sitting in the driver's seat of a parked car on the 6100 block of South Cottage Grove when someone walked up and opened fire, hitting him multiple times. He was taken to Strawger Hospital, where he was pronounced dead about 40 minutes later. He was just 25 years old. There's context behind why this happened. The day before, a McCreek member named Vic was killed after getting into an argument with someone in the 800 block of East 63rd Street. During that confrontation, the other person pulled out a gun and shot him. Vic's real name was Victor Golden Jr. The person responsible was later arrested and charged. He was known as Flying Ryan and was tied to 800/No Law. It's been said that Diddy was there when that situation happened, and that may have played a role in why he was targeted the following night by McCreek. Technically, it wasn't even a full day later, it all happened within hours of each other. Flying Ryan later beat the case, but years after that, he was killed in April 2017. Diddy was considered a well-respected member, especially from the older generation, and he had been around from the very beginning stages of what later became 800. Even today, people from younger generations still bring his name up and speak of him with respect. After his death, Holly Grove ended up adopting the name Diddy Grove, and that's something that still shows up with certain members to this day. One person who was especially close to Diddy was Boss Smooth, who at the time went by J Smooth. Before 800 became the main name people started claiming, Boss Smooth was also part of Holly Grove, so he was there during that earlier stage of everything. In the track Pyro Style Part 2, Boss Smooth directly referenced Diddy, rapping, "You disrespect Diddy you catch 50, you disrespect OleHead you catch a swallhead." Lines like that show how serious the respect around Diddy still was within his circle. On the other side, members connected to McCreek, which later went by the name Vic World, also referenced Diddy in a negative way through music. In the song 800 Diddy City Diss by Vic World CEO, he raps, "Diddy got slumped in that whip, now he's dead, gone." There were also other songs over the years where his name came up. In Face by Tonka Toy and Ice Ruga, released in 2012, the lyrics go, "Ask Diddy, he got caught up in that lot, car park, couple shots in his face, now them hitters taking off." Demb also referenced him. In Money Man's remix of Finito from 2015, he raps, "Facing Diddy to the brain, in traffic switching lanes." Zay Savage from 049 Hit Squad also mentioned him in Die Young Money, where he says, "I'm Die Y for and that's for Diddy, F800. He was also referenced by members connected to STL in Taekwondo World. In They Wanna Be Us by Lil P, Lucky, and G.I. Joe, they rap, "Saw stripping, blowing Diddy would I be up." Over time, there have been many more examples like this as well. Other artists such as Lil James and Zero from Temp, G Raysky from Geo Drive, Rose from 051 Young Money, and Lil Don from PocketTown have also referenced or dissed him in different songs. Next in this timeline is the killing of OleHead, another member tied to Holly Grove and later 800. OleHead was one of the older guys in the group, and he was around 33 years old when he was shot and killed in early 2012. This case is often brought up because of how far back the story behind the suspect goes. It starts all the way in 1990, when a man named Curtis Davis was convicted for the murder of Harvey Austin. Curtis was sentenced to 40 years in prison, but he ended up being released in 2008 after serving a little over half of that sentence. Then, 4 years after his release, on March 27, 2012, he was accused of carrying out another shooting. According to authorities and family accounts, he showed up at a home where 3 people were inside: Terry Brown, Julius Benford, and OleHead, whose real name was Michael Knowles. They were reportedly just hanging out and playing video games when Curtis arrived and opened fire. OleHead was believed to be the main target. He was shot multiple times, reports say around 33 times, and was pronounced dead at the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office, Stein Institute. Terry Brown and Julius Benford were also struck in the shooting and both lost their lives as well. According to reporting from the Chicago Sun-Times, all 3 victims had prior drug convictions, and there was also a large amount of cash found inside the home. The exact motive behind the triple shooting was never made fully clear. However, Terry Brown's family said the argument may have started over a jacket, based on information included in the police report. OleHead's mother, Cynthia Knowles, later spoke about the case and said she felt the system failed her son. She believed that if Curtis had not been released from prison, this situation would never have happened. She also described her son as a father of 2 children, a 14-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter, and said he enjoyed spending time with them. At the time of his death, OleHead was not working. He was reportedly dealing with severe diabetes, which made it difficult for him to hold a job. Despite his health struggles, his mother said he was still a happy and loving person, and that she missed his laughter. OleHead's name also appears in music from the scene. In Boss Smooth's remix of How I'm Coming, he raps, "For OleHead we give out swallheads, yeah he survived, He alive but we left him brain dead. In early 2012, the name 800 started getting more attention around Chicago and became more widely known. Around that time, there was also back and forth on Twitter between OB600 and 800. King Von from a Block was one of the people who publicly mentioned and mocked 800 on different occasions. 600 was already in conflict with 800/No Law before that, going back to August 2010 when young famous from 600, also known as 7, was accused of killing Mojo from 800/No Law. Later on, in 2013, Boss Smooth posted a tweet saying, "I'm on that BDK shit for Mojo and Fathead, 600K. He also had online exchanges with CD in 2012. Since they both went to Kenwood High School, Smooth called CD a coward and said he never truly claimed BD at any point. Lil Loco from 800 also took shots at 600 online, criticizing them for how they handled Trix's death. He felt that even though Trix was around them while alive, they stopped representing him after he was killed. At the same time, not everything was strictly hostile between everyone involved. Boss Smooth and King Von actually had a friendly relationship going back to earlier years in Kill Award. There is even a photo of them together from around 2010. Von himself later mentioned that Smooth had been to his apartment in O Block before, and said they shared memories like playing basketball together and even witnessing an older woman getting hit by a car. .800 started getting acknowledged in 2012, mainly by O Block's top member King Von, who wrote several tweets about them. In August 2012, he wrote, "For my 800 tweet, I'm 800K. A month later he wrote, "Man with the F is 800? Whatever or whoever they are, FM, I'm on that." A few days later he wrote another tweet saying, "I'll go through the whole 800 by myself, I'm about to start F them boys up." Von continued mentioning 800 until he got locked up in late November 2012. In late October he wrote, "I still can't believe they made 800, shit lame homie." A couple of days later he wrote, "I ain't never blown at 800 because I know that's Smooth's boys in them. But if folks happen to fall back on them or branch, I'ma give them the D." As a side note before moving forward in the story, at some point during 2012, Big Mike from 800 was shot in the back, and the bullet reportedly could not be removed. Later that same year, he was shot again in the same area, which caused him to become paralyzed. He has been in a wheelchair ever since due to those injuries. There were rumors about who was involved in the first shooting, with some pointing to STL. This was brought up later in a heated exchange on Twitter in 2013 between FBG Duck and Boss Smooth. In that conversation, Boss Smooth wrote to FBG Duck saying that 800 had shot up his home, forced him to move, and that he wasn't really living that life. Duck responded by questioning that claim, writing, "Lol, and you really think the ops shot up Big Mike, huh?" Now we come to a particularly brutal incident in this timeline involving Fish from McCreek, a 26-year-old man who was known to have disabilities. On September 7, 2013, Fish, whose real name was Alan Ross, was found unresponsive in the 5100 block of South Ellsworth Drive, a road that runs through a park area on the south side. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Unlike other cases in this story, Fish was not killed by gunfire. The autopsy revealed that his death came from severe head trauma caused by a violent physical attack. Reports suggested he had been beaten badly, with injuries consistent with repeated blows. Some accounts claimed he may have also been struck with a rock during the assault, which likely caused serious damage. Fish was allegedly beaten to death by 3 or 4 perpetrators, and 2 of them are rumored to be Pyro and Boss Smooth from 800. It is also rumored that this is about a dispute over a few bucks, but I honestly doubt it. 800 and McCreek were sworn enemies at this time, and Fish was seen as a valid target due to his affiliation with McCreek. Fish has been mocked in songs on multiple occasions. In the song 61 Dead Ops by Boss Smooth, he rapped, "We don't do no fighting, end up like Fish." In another song, The Computers remix by Face Gang Chris and Boss Smooth, they rapped, "You try to fight, you're going to end up like Fish." Boss Smooth and other 800 members also used to mock Fish a lot on Twitter back in the days. However, you must not forget that Fish also got a lot of love from friends and family. He was a beloved member in their neighborhood. About 6 months later, another member linked to the 800's older Holly Grove generation was killed. The victim was C.O., whose real name was Corey Brownlee. On April 13, 2014, Corey was outside with a woman behind his home in the 6000 block of South Indiana Avenue when shots were fired in their direction. Corey, who was 32 years old, was struck in the chest. He was taken to John H. Stroger Jr. Hospital of Cook County, where he was later pronounced dead. The woman who was with him, described as being in her mid-20s, was also hit. She suffered a gunshot wound to her lower right leg. She was transported to the same hospital and was reported to be in stable condition, and she survived the shooting. As for who was responsible, the case remained unsolved publicly, and no confirmed information about the shooter was released. Fast forward to November 2nd, 2014. This brings us to another murder, that of DreMatic, affiliated with McCreek, Vic World, Evans Mob, and Black Gang 79-83. DreMatic, whose real name was Andre Johnson Jr., was sitting in the front passenger seat of a parked vehicle on the 1500 block of West 72nd Street when an unknown assailant approached and opened fire. Tragically, Dre was shot in the head and pronounced dead at the scene. As you might have guessed, 800 was behind this murder, and the suspected killer is allegedly Snacks from 800, a highly respected OG within the set. Boss Smooth even gave him a shout out in a song, rapping, "We be some maniacs, free Snacks," he invented that. By this, Smooth means that Snacks coined the term Maniac Cobras, which became an alternative name for Mickey Cobras. Because 800 operates differently, essentially as renegades, they adopted the term Maniac Cobras after Snacks introduced it. DreMatic was a deeply respected and beloved member of McCreek, making his murder a significant loss for the group and a major hit for 800. He was also very close to Vic from McCreek, who was killed in late February 2011, allegedly by Flying Ryan from No Law/800, which we talked about earlier. Moving into 2015, 800 had firmly established itself as a legitimate and formidable set. However, they had few allies and were at odds with nearly the entire city. That year, tensions escalated, particularly with Tim, leading to frequent incidents. Tim began targeting 800, with Drilly and others shooting up their block. There are also rumors that Abba from 800 killed Kessie from Timber around this time, and Drilly later claimed that somebody went to sleep for Kessie. At the time, one of 800's few allies was 051 Young Money, aside from a few smaller cliques in the city. However, by late 2017, even that alliance began to fade, and 800 found itself increasingly isolated. Now 800 openly beef with 051 and Fatz used to mock Melly in his songs. 800 was also very good at starting new beefs, even at times when they had nearly every South Side set after them. Despite being surrounded by enemies, 800 had surprisingly few losses. There were also a lot of other shootings during this time. For example, 10 from 800 shot Michi from McCreek in the neck and ended up getting snitched on by Michi and received a 15-year sentence. 10 was released in April 2022. By 2015, a new wave of young members was emerging, ready to make their mark on the streets. One of them was Fatz from 800, a name that would go down in history as one of Chicago's most reckless gang members. With multiple bodies to his name, he is now incarcerated, awaiting sentencing for a crime of sheer madness. Back in 2015, Fatz was barely 14 or 15 years old, but he was already moving like a veteran in the streets. People were starting to take notice of him, especially after an incident in mid-December involving a kid named Nico Schaffer. Nico, who went by Nico from YKN078, was only 15 when he was shot in the head over on 52nd and Calumet, right in Met Boys territory. It was a grim situation. Nico didn't pass away immediately. He actually spent nearly 3 years in a coma, fighting just to stay alive. He eventually lost that battle on August 4, 2018, passing away at the age of 18. Fatz actually got picked up for the shooting back when it happened in 2015, but since the evidence wasn't there, the charges didn't stick. He was back on the block almost as fast as he went in. Even though it took 3 years for Nico to succumb to his injuries, most people on the streets count this as the first body Fatz caught. As for the why, nobody is 100% sure. It could have been personal beef, but it's worth noting that Fatz's circle, 800, was tight with New Money 80, and those guys have a long-standing rivalry with YKN. Another big event in Fatz's life that happened in 2015, in contrast to him being out killing people, was that he actually became a father to a son. Keep in mind, Fatz was only 15 years old at the time, very young. Right around the start of 2015, just a bit after that situation with Nico, the set took another hit when Abba from 800 got handed a 13-year sentence. This was for the shooting of Lucky Steele from STL/EBT. The word on the street was that Lucky actually took the stand and testified against Abo, and 800 has since come out and confirmed that's exactly what happened. Abo ended up doing his time and just recently touched down on parole in late August 2024. He's going to be on paper until 2027. Fatz actually brought the whole situation up in his track Smooth Style. He had a line saying, "Lucky told on my main mans, but STL, they still his friend, on Mick." It's a bit of a weird bar because everyone knows 800 doesn't rock with STL, Jaro, or Taekwon World, So Fatz was likely just calling out the hypocrisy of them still claiming Lucky after he supposedly cooperated with the law. By late May 2016, the set took a massive hit when Pyro was killed. If you know the history of 800, you know Pyro was a huge name for them. Back in 2013, he and Boss Smooth were actually the ones who beat Fish from a Creek to death over a small money dispute. The police found Pyro, whose real name was Kevin Larry, unresponsive near 56th and Wabash early one morning. He was only 22 when he was pronounced dead from a gunshot to the chest. The guy who went down for it was Domo from Mob. Domo's arrest is actually one of the craziest stories in the city. On the very same day he was picked up, Domo was holding a press conference with his lawyer to announce a $15 million lawsuit against the CPD, claiming an officer had shot him in the back 7 times. The press conference ended, and Domo was literally standing outside waiting for an Uber when a squad car pulled up and grabbed him on a murder warrant for Pyro's death. His lawyer was completely blindsided. He thought his client was about to get a massive payday, but instead, Domo was headed to jail. The CPD basically said they weren't going to wait around to arrest a murder suspect just because he was suing them. Domo ended up getting 50 years for it. Even though he's locked up now, if you look at the footage of the police shooting Domo from behind while he was running, it definitely raises some questions about how the cops handled that situation. So, what actually led to Domo killing Pyro? According to the police, it all started over a dice game. The two of them were gambling when an argument broke out over money, and that's when things turned fatal. After Pyro was killed, the CPD was on high alert. They put out a safety warning to officers, telling them that Domo, who they knew by his street name, had been overheard saying he wasn't going to be taken alive. They labeled him armed and dangerous, and prosecutors were moving fast to get witnesses to talk so they could officially charge him within 48 hours. The wild part is what Domo said during his own press conference before he was cuffed. He admitted he started carrying an illegal gun back in 2014 for protection. He felt he had to because his close friend, Scrap from Mob, had been killed on the 5600 block of South Wabash, which, ironically, is the exact same block where Pyro ended up getting shot. Domo claimed that during a police chase on July 4, 2014, he tossed that gun away before an officer opened fire on him, hitting him 7 times. He even showed reporters surveillance video that he said proved the cops kept shooting him even after he was down on the ground. Domo tried to tell the media he wasn't a gang member. He argued that the cops should have just chased him and caught him instead of shooting. His logic was, if I never did anything to hurt you, why would you hurt me? He said all of this just hours before he was taken into custody for Pyro's murder. One of the most important things to understand about Lil Fatz is how much the loss of Pyro truly broke them. They weren't just fellow gang members, they were incredibly close, having grown up together on the block with Smooth and the rest of 800 since the early 2010s. Pyro was a few years older than Fatz and acted as a mentor for the younger generation of 800. He was the one who showed them how to move in the streets and basically taught them the ropes. When he was killed, Fatz was devastated. He reportedly made a personal vow to get revenge, and many point to this moment as the start of his downward spiral. While the later death of Boss Smooth definitely added fuel to the fire, It was Pyro's passing that first flipped a switch in Fatz's head. It changed him from a young kid on the block into the reckless, loose screw persona the streets eventually came to fear. That initial heartbreak was what truly sent him on missions. Fast forward to late September 2017. On the 25th, the Geo Drive/Mob Alliance lost a member known as Lil Mike. Just to be clear, this isn't the same Lil Mike from Mob who died 2 months earlier, the one who was Ruga's brother. This Lil Mike was only 16 years old when he was found in an alley on the 6400 block of South Langley. Word is he had been at a party hosted by PocketTown and was walking home alone and pretty high when he was caught. He was tight with Lil Sean from Mob and was cool with the PocketTown guys, which is why he was over there in the first place. Cops showed up just before 10 p.m. and found him with multiple shots to the head and body. The streets say 800 was behind it, specifically Fatz, Maine, and Lil Twin. At the time, Fatz was only 16 and Twin was just 14. Twin actually got locked up and charged for the murder, but he eventually beat the case because the evidence wasn't there. This hit was a huge deal because Lil Mike was the brother of Lil Art from PocketTown, who was a heavy hitter for them. This situation is really what kicked the beef between PocketTown and 800 into high gear. Things got even messier in 2021 when Sko from 800 had $150 stolen from him by a PocketTown member, and Sko retaliated by taking that guy's gun. Later on, WAP and Lil Don ran into each other while they were both in county jail. WAP actually tried to play peacemaker, telling Don that what Sko did was wrong and that they'd give the gun back. He pointed out that they both beefed with McCreek, so it didn't make sense for them to be fighting each other. WAP even said Sko wasn't allowed back on the block because of the drama he caused. But despite the talk, that gun was never handed back. The conversation heated up when Lil Fatz jumped in, bragging that several PocketTown members had been hit since their beef started. Lil Don wasn't having it, though. He brought up a story from 2019, claiming that right after he got out of jail, Fatz got caught trying to slide on PocketTown and ended up getting shot while he still had his pipe on him. Fatz fired back, claiming that the very next day, he went out and shot at G Mooski from PocketTown while he was waiting at a bus stop. He then took it a step further, asking Lil Don how many funerals he had personally caused while holding up 5 fingers, basically flexing a body count of 5. Don just told him he wasn't the one to talk to about bodies because he could go toe-to-toe with anyone if it came down to it. The whole live was mostly just a lot of back and forth tough talk and bragging. This beef is technically still active, and things got disrespectful again in early 2021 when 800 started mocking LA Glizzy, also known as Lil Ant, after he was killed out of town. One of the wildest parts of that live stream was how it ended. They were literally planning a shootout on 82nd and Maryland as they were hanging up, and sure enough, a shooting popped off just a few blocks away only minutes later. Lately, things have chilled out a bit, mostly because Fatz and Lil Twin are locked up and likely won't ever see the outside again. But keep in mind, all of this drama happened way later than the timeline we're currently covering. We'll dive deeper into those later years in a bit.
Hey, folks, who got time for that? Name drop it right now, folks. Name drop it right now. We gonna go toe to toe. Name drop it right now. I'm gonna tell you who I give a fuck about.
It don't matter who y'all give a fuck about.
Exactly, nigga. If you can't talk, nigga. Hey, I'm telling you, folks.
Look, I got Lil Mike on his face or his neck or whatever. Okay. E Glizzy got popped. Motherfuckers, family members got shot in their stomach and had to abort their baby, all type of shit. Who else? The nigga Fat Marcus.
So, okay, look, Fatz, you said all that. How many people count?
Okay, okay.
Next, we're looking at another hit allegedly put in by Lil Fatz and his friends, the murder of DJ from Taekwon World /Hottie Way. It happened on the morning of August 6th, 2018. DJ was just standing at a bus stop on the 9100 block of South Cottage Grove around 11:15 a.m. when someone opened fire, hitting him in the neck. He was rushed to the University of Chicago Medical Center, but he didn't make it. While nobody has been officially charged, the streets have a few names in mind. The main rumors point toward Fatz, WAP, or Lil Twin being the ones behind the trigger. 800 has been incredibly disrespectful about DJ's death in their music. Boss Smooth went in on him in the track 61 Dead Ops, rapping about how DJ got hit at the bus stop and mocking his name by saying, "We spinning you like a DJ." He even claimed in another song that his own people had already forgotten about him. Lil Twin used that same "they done forgot" line in his song Effigo, and Lil Fatz got even more graphic in one of his tracks, rapping about how a switch caught DJ in the face. It's clear that out of all their rivals, DJ is one of the people 800 loves to troll the most. Three months after the DJ situation, things reached a breaking point when Dusky's funeral was shot up. During the shootout, Wooski was famously hit in the head. There's actually a lot of debate over who hit him. Some people think it was a ricochet from one of his own guys, like Dan Milley from Mob, firing back. The controversy over who actually pulled the trigger hasn't stopped since. Both 800 and O Block have claimed it. On the O Block side, the police even questioned King Von about it, and Dog basically called the play 2 hours before the funeral when he tweeted, "Get back gang gone, get rid of him." Personally, I've always thought it was O Block, specifically DQ, since his name comes up the most. However, a huge part of the community is convinced 800 did it because of how much they brag about it in their music. Wooski's big brother, Big Mike, who was King Von's rappy, also stated in an interview that Lil Fatz was the shooter. They've dropped several bars claiming the hit, like, "If there's a crowd bring 100 out, Chopper Shell's gun put him down, Wooski headshot that wasn't enough, they still ain't trying to get back at us." They also mocked his condition afterward, rapping, "Yeah, he's alive, he survived, but we left him brain dead, and plus Wooski got his head splack, why still ain't get his lick back." Lil Fatz also rapped, "Tuli, you know I'm grabbing my Tuli, run up on me, have him looking like Wooski, slide to the funeral, I shoot like a movie." Whether they actually did it or were just chasing the clout, 800 definitely made sure everyone associated that shooting with them. By 2019, things started getting a lot darker for 800. Lil Fatz and a few others were basically spiraling out of control, and Fatz was allegedly stacking up bodies at a crazy rate. It wasn't just rivals, either. Innocent people were getting caught in the crossfire. On April 14, 2019, Fatz reportedly killed a girl named Yum, also known as Tarzan. She was an innocent bystander and the sister of Montana from 051YM. The story goes that 800 was actually trying to take out Montana. They caught him lacking but missed. When Montana went to grab his own pipe to fire back, 800 ended up hitting his sister instead. The hits just kept coming that year. By August, rumors were flying that Lil Twin killed Carter from Sunnyside. Then in September, word was that Fatz caught Hollywood from Stony Spot. allegedly chasing him into an alley and finishing it with a headshot. In early 2020, 800's reputation as snakes really solidified. Fatz and Lil Twin were rumored to have killed Curry from MTG during a gun deal. Some say it was a trade gone wrong, but others think they showed up with the sole intention of taking him out. It's wild because 800 seemed to actually enjoy starting new wars and backdooring people. They leaned into that Mickey Cobra Snake persona heavily. For a long time, the rest of the city didn't really respect 800. People used to clown them, saying they were just trying to be like 300 or 600 and weren't actually about that life. But they were dead set on proving everyone wrong. Just 3 months after the Curry situation, in March 2020, TJ and Lil Fatz were linked to the murder of Bando Hothead from Face World 069. Just like before, it was reportedly another gun deal where 800 decided to snake the other side. After Lil Fatz and Lil Twin spent months spazzing out on everyone, including people they were supposed to be cool with, 800 ended up with a target on their back from every direction. On September 7, 2020, that heat caught up to them when they lost a member named Franko. Franko was only 18 years old when he was caught in a drive-by around noon. He was standing on the 8000 block of South Manistee, which is actually KTS/Lakeside territory. Along with 800, Franko claimed Sosa Gang over on 67th and Paxton, a group named after Sosa from OTG, who passed away in 2018. Following his death, a new alliance called Frank Block was formed in his honor, made up of members from both Sosa Gang and 800. It didn't last long and doesn't really exist today, but it was a big deal at the time. The word on the street was that Lil Crew and Clay from 8 Mob were the ones responsible for taking Franko out. Exactly 1 month after the Franko situation, 800 took their biggest loss yet. This time it was Boss Smooth, the face of the set, their main rapper, and a guy rumored to have a lot of blood on his hands. It went down at a Shell station on the 8600 block of South State in Chatham. Smooth was in the car with Lil Prince from 800, probably just stopping for gas, when another car pulled up and let loose about 30 rounds from a Draco. It was a brutal hit. Smooth was caught in the head and didn't make it. The whole thing was incredibly reckless. A local resident actually posted a video saying they were right across the street when it happened and saw the police pulling up just as the shooters were peeling off. Even with the cops that close, the getaway car managed to hop on the expressway and vanish. To this day, nobody has been locked up for it. When it comes to who did it, the list of suspects was huge because 800 beefed with everyone. The very next day, sets like McCreek, Timb, Murda Town, Face World, and Taekwon World were all posting pictures of their own dead homies, basically hinting that they got their revenge. The rumors really started pointing toward Face World 069, especially since people thought it was payback for Bando Hothead. Timo even dissed Smooth directly right after, and a photo eventually leaked of Face World members in a trap house with F-Boss Smooth spray painted on the wall. Their rappers didn't hold back either. KC Money dropped a line saying, "When Smooth got caught, he got left in his seat." Between the lyrics and the social media posts, most people on Reddit and the forums are convinced Face World was the one to finally catch up with him. The real story didn't actually surface until August 2021 during a heated Instagram live. KC Money from Face World was going back and forth with Lil Twin from 800, and Twin was clearly fed up with Face World taking credit for a hit they didn't actually pull off. While KC Money was casually trolling, saying things like, "Your homie blowing smooth right now," Twin wasn't having it. Finally, KC just asked him straight up, "Then who did it?" Twin didn't hesitate. He swore on his dead homie Pyro that Mix Mob were the ones who actually caught Smooth. The comments section was pure chaos. Members from Mix Mob were right there in the live with 800 and Face World, taunting KC and saying he was exposed. One Mix Mob member even commented directly, telling Face World, "Y'all ain't do that to Smooth." Not long after that, Lou Glocks from Mix Mob basically confirmed the rumors with an IG post that said, "Y'all the police on Deshaun?" By not denying it and calling people police for talking about it, he pretty much told the world they were involved. The word is that Savage and Frito from Mix Mob were the ones behind the trigger. Losing Boss Smooth was the beginning of the end for Lil Fatz and for 800 as a whole. He was the anchor for the set, and once he was gone, the whole house of cards started to collapse.
On Pyro, Mix Mob kill Smooth, nigga. On Diddy, you or Face ain't have shit to do with that. On Pyro, so who killed Smooth?
Why you want to talk about dead bodies on here, bro?
Yeah, I know, cause you cap. You know y'all ain't do that shit.
Yo,
hey, you can have this internet.
Why you want to talk about dead bodies,
bro? On Pyro, how his dad.
Hey, look, check this out, bro. You want my number, bro?
Look, man, send it through, cause I link for real.
You want my number, bro? You can link up all that shit, bro. Yo, ass capping, bro.
Send your number then. I link for real. I really do that. 800 known for linking. 800 known for linking.
You know we was just close to you, bro. I ain't be doing all that on my.
Even though things were crashing down, 800 still had a few shooters left who were ready to crash out. By December 2020, rumors started going around that Lil Fatz had backdoored and killed Spice from Snake Pit/Dresky Way. At the time, there was a lot of tension because 800 suspected Snake Pit might have had a hand in Boss Smooth's death. But honestly, I don't think 800 actually did it. The Snake Pit guys eventually came out and said they had squashed their beef with 800, and let's be real, you don't just shake hands and move on if those guys just killed one of your homies. Plus, WAP from 800 even posted a tribute to Spice after he died, which makes the whole murder rumor seem pretty unlikely. 2 months later, in February 2021, 800 reportedly caught another body, this time over on Marcus Way. On February 8th, a 19-year-old named Young J, named Jeremiah Irvin, was shot and killed on the 6200 block of South Cottage Grove. 800 was ruthless about this one, mocking him heavy after it happened. Young J was killed by a shot to the head, and 2 of his friends were hit as well. It's actually wild, one of them, Leak from Marcus Way, was also shot in the head but somehow survived. The other guy, who was hit in the leg, was Maine from Marcus Way. If that name sounds familiar, it's because Maine used to be 800 and was actually one of the guys on that Lil Mike hit we talked about earlier. Just goes to show how fast things can flip in these streets.
Go toe to toe. Name dropping right now. I'm gonna tell you who I give a fuck about.
It don't matter who y'all give a fuck about.
Exactly, nigga. If you can't talk, nigga. Hey, I'm telling you, folks.
Look, I got Lil Mike on his face or his neck or whatever. Okay. E Glizzy got popped. Motherfuckers, family members got shot in their stomach and had to abort their baby, all type of shit. Who else? The nigga Fat Marcus.
So, okay, look, Fatz, you said all that. How many people count?
Okay, okay.
Now we've reached the situation that triggered the actual fall of the 800. This was the moment that took their two heaviest hitters, Lil Fatz and Lil Twan, off the board permanently. It's honestly hard to put into words how badly they crashed out here. We already knew Fatz was a loose screw and basically a psychopath, but this was a level of recklessness that nobody saw coming, even from him. By the time it was over, 3 people had lost their lives. Everything kicked off on the morning of November 11th, 2021. Fatz, Twan, and a few others were chilling at an apartment on the 8700 block of South Saginaw. According to a witness, Fatz was talking about having a lick lined up to hit an ATM, and he was dead set on making it happen that same day. To get the operation started, Spook and Doovie 4 from Face World 079, who the feds say were part of the crew, allegedly went out and boosted a dark Lincoln to use as their getaway ride. The group then headed over to a Bank of America on West 83rd Street to stake it out. Eventually, an armored truck pulled up with a guard named LaShonda Hartz and 2 other co-workers. They started their usual routine, opening up the machines, swapping the cash containers, and refilling them with somewhere between $50,000 and $80,000. While they were working, the crew was watching from the car nearby, just waiting for the right second to jump out. As one of the male guards was carrying the cash back to the machines, Lil Fatz and Lil Twan reportedly jumped out, pointed their guns, and demanded the money. A struggle started, and Fatz, Twan, and another guy, likely Spook, started shooting. During the chaos, LaShonda Hartz was hit 3 times, catching shots in the chest and stomach. She was rushed to the hospital but tragically passed away from her injuries. Another guard took a shot to the chest as well, though he luckily managed to survive. Despite all that violence, the crew didn't even get the money. They couldn't grab the cash containers and ended up fleeing the scene empty-handed. Instead of laying low, Fatz and Twan allegedly went and robbed a Boost Mobile store on South Stony Island just before 11 a.m., grabbing whatever cash and phones they could. Afterward, they met back up with Spook and Doovie on South Saginaw, and all 4 of them got into a different car. What happened next was pure insanity. The police said that Fatz and Twan basically executed their own accomplices, Spook and Doovie from Face World 079, right there inside the vehicle. They completely turned on their own people. Doovie was shot in the back of the neck, and Spook was hit 7 times. Both were dead before they even left the scene. Fatz and Twan headed back to the same house they had left earlier that morning. A witness inside later told police they heard a frantic conversation about where to stash all the guns. In a move that made 0 sense, Fatz actually told someone in the house to call 911 and report that a person had been killed outside. When the cops showed up, the whole thing fell apart. They found several boxes of stolen Boost mobile phones sitting right inside a vehicle. A search of the home turned up a rifle and 4 handguns, and forensic tech later confirmed that the shell casings from the Bank of America shooting matched at least one of those guns. Fatz and Don were hauled off and hit with a mountain of felony charges, including multiple counts of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and attempted armed robbery. Even the prosecutors were blown away by the sheer recklessness of the day. Assistant State's Attorney James Murphy didn't mince words, stating, "I know this is a complicated fact pattern, but in looking at the facts as alleged by the state, it's as if these 2 defendants tried to copy every armed robbery movie out there, right down to the double cross. It was a Hollywood-level crash out, and it effectively marked the end of an era for 800. Both Lil Fatz and Lil Don are currently sitting behind bars, still awaiting trial in their final sentencing. While they wait, the case has been absolutely plagued by heavy snitching. Lil Fatz allegedly talked to the police. Reports indicate he tried to pin the security guard's murder entirely on Don and Spook, attempting to wash his hands of the very crash out he reportedly orchestrated. It comes as no surprise to anyone that Fatz is now facing a lifetime behind bars. He transformed from a young kid on the block looking up to Pyro into one of the most reckless and feared names in the streets, but that reputation came at a massive cost. His run was defined by a string of high-profile shootings and a growing body count that eventually made him a target for every set on the south side. Fatz was a loose screw who seemed to thrive on the chaos. Between the extreme violence, the innocent, and not innocent, lives caught in his path, and the final irony of him allegedly snitching on his own to avoid the consequences, his story reached the only end it could. He set out to prove he was the most dangerous and crazy member in the streets, but in the process, he ensured his own failure. This is the legacy of the fall of 800, a story centered on a man who declared war on everyone and ended up losing everything. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay safe, and may God bless you all. Let me know what you want to see next.